On the night of June 1, 2009, a tragedy unfolded high above the Atlantic Ocean, one that would echo through the halls of aviation history. An Air France flight, destined for Paris, would vanish without a trace, or so it seemed. This is the untold story of Air France Flight 447, a flight that many have called the Titanic of the skies. Air France Flight 447 was a routine flight from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to Paris, France. A journey of nearly 12 hours across one of the busiest air routes in the world. On board were 228 people, including 216 passengers and 12 crew members. The captain, Marc Dubois, a seasoned aviator with over 11,000 flight hours, was at the helm. Alongside him, two co-pilots, David Robert and Pierre-Cédric Bonin. The crew was experienced. The aircraft, an Airbus A330, one of the most advanced planes of its time. Yet, beneath the calm exterior, the flight was about to face a series of events that would unravel the very fabric of modern aviation. Just hours into the flight, the plane encountered a powerful thunderstorm system known as the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ICC. This region of volatile weather is notorious for fierce storms, lightning, and turbulence. Flight 447 was flying straight into this turbulence, and this would set the stage for disaster. As the aircraft flew through the storm, something critical happened. The plane's pitot tubes, which measure airspeed, became obstructed by ice crystals. With the pitot tubes malfunctioning, the crew lost reliable speed data. Without accurate speed information, the plane's autopilot disengaged, and the pilots were left to manually control the aircraft. The crew, under intense pressure, was navigating in an environment of extreme uncertainty. As the pilot struggled to regain control, a series of errors led to catastrophic consequences. The aircraft's altitude began to drop, and the crew struggled to understand the true nature of the emergency. At one point, the autopilot disconnected. The plane's speed dropped dangerously low, and the aircraft went into an aerodynamic stall where the wings could no longer generate enough lift. But this was not immediately recognized by the crew, who were caught in a deadly loop of confusion. For 4 minutes, the pilots fought to regain control, unaware that they were flying too slowly for the aircraft to stay aloft. And then, at 2:14 a.m., the plane hit the Atlantic Ocean, 7,000 feet below, at a speed of 107 miles per hour. After the crash, a massive international search operation was launched, but it would take 2 years before the wreckage was found. The black boxes, which held the key to understanding what went wrong, were recovered, revealing the haunting final moments of Flight 447. Investigators concluded that a combination of technical failure, human error, and miscommunication led to the crash. The failure of the pitot tubes, the crew's lack of experience in stall recovery, and the overwhelming stress of flying in extreme weather conditions all contributed to the tragedy. The crash of Flight 447 led to significant changes in aviation protocols and safety procedures. From improved stall recovery training for pilots to the redesign of pitot tube systems, the lessons learned from this disaster would go on to save countless lives in the future. The 228 souls lost that night will never be forgotten. Their tragedy sparked a re-evaluation of aviation safety, ensuring that future generations of pilots are better prepared for the unexpected dangers of flying. Air France Flight 447 was a tragedy of incomprehensible loss, but in its aftermath, the aviation world learned invaluable lessons. The Titanic of the skies reminds us that even in the most modern, sophisticated technology, human lives are always at the mercy of the skies.